Welcome to the super fun game review podcast. Go Mega Ultra Between Review Show. Down.
Welcome
MUBRS.
to MUBRS.
MUBRS.
Oh, just like Harry, a little premature. That's okay. We like you anyway.
Always.
Mm-hmm. Someone is going to get married now.
Yeah. Just to give you a heads up, you have the trio of Harry, Joe, and myself. Clark just got out of surgery today, getting his third testicle removed. So, speedy recovery. We hope he's doing well.
Heads up next time. Steve probably won't be here. He's getting it.
Yeah, I am receiving the third testicle because I just feel
to go
like,
with his nipple.
Yeah.
It's weird they're going to keep it on ice for 2 weeks.
You know, it is kind of weird, but you know what? I appreciate it.
Way to break the fourth wall. We're recording tomorrow, guys. Sorry. The wall's broken.
It's gone. They already know. Tonight we are going old school with our MUBRS as to break it up a little bit after ending our side
loser
adventure.
streak.
Yeah, our loser streak.
we do need to, next MUBRS, though, we need to do like a follow-up conversation about that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're going to do like a quick synopsis of where we're at and kind of where we're going kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just to get everybody caught up. And
we just figured that would be best with all four of us here. So that's why we're doing this today. Speaking of today,
use our code SUPERFUN
for our sponsor, Deep Creek Glassworks. So, as you know, Deep Creek Glassworks has been making handcrafted, durable works of art for you, your family, and maybe even people you hate. You can change the hate in their heart to love with glass. Or just put the glass in their heart, and then you don't need to worry about it. But don't do that. We're not promoting glass on heart violence. But do you want glass that looks like a heart, not an atomical heart, but
you could get one that looks like a shard as well.
You could. Yeah, actually,
it'd be very fun.
You could probably have a shard glass, the shard ornament. Yeah, sure. Who knows? And you know how you get that? By reaching out to Tanner and Deep Creek Glassworks. Glasses, straws, ornaments, you name it, they got it. And if not, just ask Tanner to make you a glass shard, and he'll be like, that's really weird, but thank you. And he'll ask you, did you use the promo code SUPERFUN to get 10% off of your first purchase? And if you say no, he'll be like, how dare you? Let me save you some money by giving me some money. And not to mention, when you order from him, you will receive them in crush-resistant boxes and free shipping. Shipping. So go check them out.
Smooth, guys.
Yeah, I know, man.
Smooth.
That's what I'm talking about. So check them out on
peanut butter.
Etsy, Instagram, and their website, deepcreekglassworks.com. Works spelled WORX. Today.
Bwomp.
All right, so this is going to be just a mix and match and just kind of going off the rails a little bit, but it's been a while since we did that, and that was always a good bit of fun. So yeah, Joe, I think you had something you wanted to get into there.
Yeah, so Activision Blizzard,
Yes,
finally bought by Microsoft.
they've been trying since like last year.
Yeah, it finally went through. So that's kind of weird. I mean, I guess you could say you could see it coming. I mean, they've been trying to get it through forever, but
Yeah,
I don't know how comfortable I am with it. I think it's kind of dumb.
yeah. We'll have to see where it goes and what's going to happen.
I don't even care where it goes. I just like competition. I think when there's not enough competition, that's where people get stagnant. I think that's why a lot of like Ubisoft and EA got super big real quick, and they were doing the same shit for a while, and now look at their games. Like,
That's true.
it scares me.
Yeah.
Right? So I just hope they don't get complacent, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, like, do you need to get bought? Like, they were making like $5 billion a year.
Right.
Like, okay, you're selling for what reason? for more money at $5 billion a year. Like,
Yeah.
at what point does it even make sense, right? So that's like why I think it's kind of dumb, right? We're moving into that. It's not quite monopolistic, but it fucking might as well be scenario.
Yeah, becoming like there's going to be like the big three,
Yeah.
and then that's it without
like,
much independence.
Yeah, and Microsoft promotes their whole like, oh, we're getting indie devs published and working with them to kind of lay the groundwork and stuff, and it's like, well, yeah, but not at the same time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like you're just buying fucking big ass companies too. Like, I don't know. I just don't. I'm not a fan.
Mm. Yeah, I'm always. It is worrisome because it's like, okay, how's the quality going to be from here on out? Is it just going to be the same shit year after year, or every 2 years after 2 years, whatever it may be? Mm-hmm. And I don't know, and that's why it's like, I could be like, I don't like it, but nothing has happened yet, so I can't speak on that. I'm one. It's like, well, time will tell.
Yeah,
we have an idea of where it may go, but I'm not gonna assume, because you know what they say. You're an ass. Yeah.
So are they? It seems like we were getting away from those like console exclusives, and I'm wondering if that's. I mean, they're trying to revert back to that because that's all the power that Microsoft had in their corner. Now that like PlayStation kind of blew Xbox out of the water in this latest gen of console wars.
Well, I mean, Xbox abandoned the console exclusive idea a while ago, like after 360, essentially. They had to abandon it. I mean, sort of, right?
Sort of.
They abandoned it in a way where they released most of their shit on PC, right? That's we're not console exclusive. We're promoting other platforms, but it's like, well, no, we still have to use Windows.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, right? And then they also have like their own store on PC and stuff like that. So, and it's literally called the Xbox app. So like, it's not, not really not exclusive. So
yeah.
I don't really buy the argument. Mm-hmm. They're making it available to more people, I guess you could say, but they still kind of wall it off.
Yeah. And I know a big one with that was the Activision portion, because there was a lot of worry about, now they're going to take Call of Duty and make it like an Xbox PC exclusive type thing. Mm-hmm. And that was something that was brought up because there was a lot of litigation, not really litigation, but there was a lot of like
concern and
and like this was tied up in court for quite some time, because it was like, this is creating a monopoly, is this going to keep for fair competition? That was something the FTC was really, really harping on Microsoft about, them trying to buy it out. And not even just in America, like the EU had like their own courts that are saying, you need to be able to prove to us that this isn't going to become an issue. And then it finally got in where it got up, I think, to like the Supreme Court, or like one of the higher courts in the US.
Yeah, and the FTC had to like try and appeal it and shit. Yeah,
and then the judge was like, FTC is not making strong enough of a case, so we'll let this go through. Yeah. And then they just needed to really work on the EU portion of it, and then here we are where it went through. But I was reading where, there were talks between Microsoft and PlayStation, the powers that be between them, and Xbox saying, it's like, we're still going to have like Call of Duty on PlayStation. We're not going to take that away. Like even calling them out like in a tweet or something on social media to be like, we're paying attention to stuff and we're relevant. So, I mean, that's at least like one thing out of it, but it's like, how far is that really going to go? Is it just going to be, here's your one title? That's it.
Yeah.
But I don't really think if having like a game that was on multiple platforms and then all of a sudden you take that away and it's like, well, this is just Xbox now. I don't think you're going to be making money in that aspect where it's just basically dumb. It's like people aren't going to go out and buy an entire console for...
Not this far into the generation.
Yeah, let me take that back. Not a lot of people are going to do that. There would still be some who don't want to get into PC and are like, I really need to play the next Call of Duty. I'm getting an Xbox.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's more... I don't know. I think like monetarily smart to have that on like multiple platforms, just get revenue in from wherever you can.
Yeah.
They might be thinking the long game and thinking for the next generation already.
That's
I'm
what I'm
sure.
thinking. Like, I would expect an announcement similar to this. Maybe not, saying, "Oh, Xbox," but like something like that.
Yeah.
When like they're getting ready to announce their next console.
Yeah.
That's what I would expect.
Yeah.
I don't think they really have those titles specifically on Xbox anymore.
They have nothing. They have Gears of War.
Does Gears of War still exist?
Not really.
No, that and Halo.
Halo's always been
Yeah,
there, but I don't think Halo is.
They
like
gave up
what
on
it,
Halo too. I mean,
It's not what it once was.
It's not
No.
Bungie anymore.
No.
So,
Once
like-
it stopped being Bungie, then that's when a lot of the Halo community was just like,
Yeah, we're out.
I'm good.
Destiny's close enough.
Yeah.
So I think they're just trying to get some stuff in their corner again.
Yeah.
I mean,
But like,
I know it's a shame they're going this direction, but if you
Yeah.
think about it, how long has Nintendo been just keeping their shit to themselves?
Nintendo's always been like.
I know.
in
I'm
their
just
own-
saying.
yeah.
Like, I feel bad that we're crucifying Xbox.
their
but
first party titles is what we're saying, though. That's why we didn't. That's why I don't want
Okay.
them to buy it, right? Because
Got it.
now they're like, if Nintendo was like, "Hey, we're gonna," like, they bought Rare, right? And now we don't see any Rare games anymore,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're afraid of.
I mean, we outgrew Rare. Though.
Well, sure,
Yeah.
but like, still, like the only way you could play multiplayer for the new GoldenEye was to fucking play on Nintendo. Who the fuck wants to do that?
Mm-hmm.
It's inferior to literally everything out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I gotcha.
Like,
I'm personally not afraid. I don't think they're taking an like. I wasn't really into Blizzard or Activision game. Like, I haven't played a Call of Duty since
Harry don't give a fuck.
forever.
Yeah. Modern Warfare.
right, but
the
you can
first
understand,
one.
like,
I understand
it's a
certain
yeah.
people's
fucking
yeah,
huge player base.
yeah. Absolutely. But tactically, it might be a smart move. Like,
Yeah.
if I don't know. I think Xbox needed to do something though, because I think they have to be last on the totem pole in this generation, and by like a large margin too.
Well, Nintendo didn't even release a new generation.
I know,
yet,
but
if you think
they're
about
kind
it.
of.
Yeah.
I feel like they're killing it though right now. Like, because I feel like everybody buys either a PlayStation or an Xbox, and then a lot of those players also buy the Nintendo console.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, because that comes back around to Nintendo just has their own library of
Yeah.
games. There's very few that like are a crossover that actually get onto Switch, and that's just because Nintendo's like, you know what? Yeah, we'll allow it because we know we're going to get a shit ton of money off of this too.
Mm-hmm.
And if they won't, they're like, no, we're okay. We have Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. They don't. I mean, they don't really have anything outside of their first party, though.
Oh,
it'd be-
Nintendo?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it'd be like if Sony was like, all we have is now they're great games, right? But The Last of Us, God of War, like,
Yeah.
and Spider-Man.
That's it.
That's all we have. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do?
Buy
That's
a
Nintendo.
PlayStation. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But it's like, but those games hold so much value. Like, that's why.
right.
Plus, their console is fucking dirt cheap. So, like,
No. Actually, speaking of that, just to transition the conversation a little bit too. So, speaking of The Last of Us,
Yeah.
they released that hit show on HBO. It's huge. It's huge.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But,
Bold
but
statement, Harry.
how things always go in pairs. Xbox also released Halo to, I believe it was Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Amazon.
And I didn't hear anything.
I heard
really
it was
about-
dog shit.
Was it?
Yeah.
I heard like the first 2 or 3 episodes were good, and then like, the last 2 episodes were good, and everything else was just like not good.
Yeah,
I
don't
didn't
know.
watch it, but that's what I heard.
Yeah. Well, Twisted Metal's coming out.
That I'm interested.
I'm
in.
curious to see what they do with that. Because that's not really... Well, I guess, I mean...
I was just making another Sony and Xbox comparison.
yeah.
How it just seems like Sony's blowing Xbox out of the water
Yeah.
at every turn.
But
Yeah.
that's also, if you think about it, Last of Us had HBO as a platform. Halo had Amazon Video. It's not really the same when you're getting into like what kind of series like comes out of these. Like, oh, Amazon, what do they have? The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. All right, that was a fun show. Name another one.
The Grand Tour.
Okay.
It's coming out of Amazon, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? They released something not too long ago that was actually really good. It had Rob Stark from.
Okay.
I remember hearing about that. I don't remember.
That was a really good show.
Yeah,
I highly advise checking it out.
Yeah.
It was like the Prestige.
The other funny part about Last of Us, though, is that like while making the show, they could at least like talk to the people who made the game.
Yeah.
Whereas like Halo, like none of those people are around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are we
Like-
getting? Consulting fees or something?
Yeah, like you have the game to go off of and like original documentation, maybe, right? Depending on how that got split when like Bungie left Microsoft,
Right.
and, like that contract ended or whatever they had going on there.
Yeah. Well, you know, we will see what happens, and I think Harry's on it where it's like we're really going to have to see where the long game comes out of this, because obviously you don't just put that much fucking money out for two huge developers and not have a plan other than, we'll just have this so we own the games too.
Not to frighten you. I know you're a big Blizzard fan over here.
I'm a Diablo fan. Let's get real.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair. But like some of those examples I was giving you where Xbox is like really dropping the ball.
Yeah.
How much would it pain you to see them really run some of these companies
That's what I'm saying.
into the ground?
Activision doesn't need their help.
Right.
Like their games have been quality. Now Call of Duty is a rinse and repeat game, so like your quality is always going to be diminished in that aspect, right?
Yeah.
But like all their other shit's fucking hits.
Yeah. And then you have Blizzard, who is doing good enough at just running games into the ground, so they'll be all right with
There's a little of that too.
Yeah. A little bit. It's like they make some decisions where it's like, we're going to do this, and it's like, why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah.
No, actually, sorry, real quick tangent, but your rinse and repeat analogy is like really spot on with Call of Duty in the sense where I feel like you keep putting a shirt through the wash and it gets a little faded every time it goes through. I feel like it's just getting to be just a very dull.
And when you end up with a new shirt, turns out hand me down.
Wait a minute. These armpits are yellowed. It's new. Put it on. Okay. Now give me $70 for that yellow pitted shirt. Okay.
You're like, this isn't a Halloween costume. It's Dad's hunting clothes.
Yeah, speaking of that real quick. Never mind. I just, I'm not even going to put it in the episode.
Real wide tangent.
Yeah, somebody was trying to give me.
Oh, you're doing it anyway.
Yeah, no, I want to.
I won't drop any names, but somebody was trying to pass off hand-me-downs that they were storing in their garage for God knows how long.
Jesus.
And they were just like white shirts, but like they were moldy and yellow, and they're like, "Oh, you just got to rinse it. They're still good."
No,
I'd have been like, you can leave them at the curb on Thursday night, and they'll be gone Friday. It's trash day, motherfucker.
Yeah. God.
Just
Yeah.
what are you thinking?
Some people, I've had that problem too, where people are like,
They just can't throw
they're
stuff
like,
away.
you need this thing, and I'm like, I don't need this thing, but if you don't have the ability to throw it away, I will throw it away.
Yeah.
Let's make this very clear.
That's pretty much.
Don't ask for it next month because it won't exist.
It's gone. That's like that. That is my mother to a T. She's like, hey, I have these things from like 15 years ago. Do you want them? I'm like, not really. Do you just not want to throw them away? She's like, no. I'm like, okay, I'll take them. And then I don't say anything because you know what? I go home and majority of the time goes in the trash. Yeah. It's just not, I'm sorry. I don't need I'm nuts for spring lawn flag with a squirrel just holding like acorns.
Nuts.
Actually, I'm not going to lie. If she had that, I would put that in my front lawn. I'd be excited for that. But that's not the case.
See, I have a problem with putting stuff on the lawn. That's just one more obstacle when you're mowing the lawn. And that shit drives me nuts.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's why I won't I'm not trying to start shit.
It's MUBRS, baby.
But like she wanted to, my wife wanted to put a garden in the middle of the yard. I was like, hey, let's try on the side of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not mowing
I could do a little bump out from the house, but like having to pivot 4 fucking corners in the middle of the yard with a
Drastically
lawnmower
increases.
that doesn't pivot on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thank you.
You're like, I have a 30-foot turning radius. You're not putting a 12-foot fucking garden in.
This ain't fucking zero turn.
Yeah. So,
Amen.
yeah. So decisions about the lawn, 100% with this guy.
Made by the maintainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you start cutting it twice a week, and then you get to do what you want with it, and continue to take care of it afterwards. I can't even say that. I'm lucky. It's like every once in a while she'll cut. I'll come home from work and like the grass is mowed. I'm like, oh, I got the night off tonight. Cool.
I never got that.
No.
I never will get that.
No. Not even close.
No. It's only when you first need to cut it when it's still kind of cool outside. Now that we're in like the
heat?
in the heat of summer,
You're sweating just thinking about getting the mower out of the shed.
yeah.
You're just like, oh, God.
I got to do it this weekend. My dad and stepmom are coming over. I'm like, I can't have them see my yard like that. I need to cut this.
I mowed it twice leading up to that party on Saturday.
I don't blame you.
I did it on Monday and then the Thursday before the party, just
Yeah.
to really clean up the yard and get those extra shavings.
Exactly.
Ground up.
Yeah.
Didn't you even like rake?
I
the yard a
did.
bit?
Just, there was a little bit.
Little bit?
where we put the pools. And,
Yeah.
like I didn't want people getting out of the pool and getting hobbit feet, so
Yeah.
just rake that up real quick.
That's racist.
Against hobbits.
Yeah.
Speciest.
Yeah, right?
Genus.
They always call them racing game, though. Pick your race. And I'm like, orc.
Yeah, they fucked that one up.
Done.
It's been that way for 40 years. Nobody said it. Like,
Yeah.
too late to change it now, I guess.
Oh man.
Man.
I'm racist against orcs.
Yeah.
You an orcist? Actually, in
It's like saying I'm racist against badgers. Like, just don't like them. Get them out of my neighborhood.
But I like snakes.
in that 3-year like D&D campaign I played, I was half orc, and I came across a couple racist humans against orc. While we're talking Blizzard, you want to go on a quick little side tangent on Diablo 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will say, I've only been playing for the past like 3 weeks, something like that. Really enjoyed my time. I mean, a lot of it just felt like just trying to get through the campaign so I can start playing with the rest of you guys. I mean, which
Kind of what picking up late happens.
yeah, exactly. But it wasn't too bad. Got there pretty quickly. Started as I did a rogue, which usually don't play those. I mean, I was a monk in like some of the earlier versions.
Yeah, similar concept abilities and stuff.
Yeah, so
well, not abilities, but
fighting
attack
style. Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Is everybody a different class?
a lot of us did play different classes. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so like I'm a rogue. John is a barbarian.
Yep. I played necromancer.
Clark played a
A druid. Yep. Somebody played a sork. I think Clark also played a sork, but didn't level it up as much.
Yeah, well, there were some problems with the sork, and then
Yeah, apparently it was kind of broken for a while.
yeah, where it's
A
just
good or bad bro?
Bad.
A bad broke.
because
Like
basically
it just wasn't doing damage.
Like
Like,
if you-
sometimes skills would just deal no damage at all.
because if you think about it, as like a sorcerer, you're basically a glass cannon. Let me just have a stupid
Yeah.
amount of damage, but God forbid if I get
But if you
hit.
lose the cannon portion,
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they just basically made this glass, and you were
Yeah.
just glass. And then there was another point where, I mean, with the patch that just came out, basically nerfed it even more, and it killed the sork.
Yeah,
it's done.
They kind of killed it.
why did they nerf it if it was already?
They nerfed a bunch of shit. They're gonna have like live Q&A tomorrow on their live stream to talk about the patch notes that came out yesterday.
you
gonna
know what?
get destroyed.
I heard some people were real up in arms about this.
Yeah,
stuff.
they-
Like it just came up in YouTube feed. Just
because so the game's been out like 5-6 weeks,
Yeah, a little
something
over
like
a
that.
month.
right? And so
and they're doing these huge overhauls this early.
So here's what they
Well-
were trying to fix, right? So I got to level like 85, max is 100. I was killing enemies that were like 112. level.
Joe's going like way above his
way above my level, right? Just doing a ton of damage, right? So they nerfed a bunch of shit to make it a little bit more fair end game, a little bit more challenging, and have a little bit more growth in the long run, right? It doesn't really come off that way, though, when you think about it, right? If you just go and you look at the patch notes and it's like, no, this skill is dealing 15% less damage, and like this modifier doesn't act the same way as it used to, and it's nerfed a little bit, right? And they do that basically completely across the board. It looks like they nerf everything and make everything terrible, right? But realistically, it's like, no, I think, right, I didn't get to play it yet. I think they were just trying to like, if I'm 85, I should probably fight something a little bit closer to 85.
Yeah, maybe like 87, maybe 90 if you're really trying to push yourself,
right?
You know,
it just doesn't seem
it scales,
the way to approach it, though.
But it caps out. That's the problem. It's like, what do you do? Like, they don't. It's only get like people were killing stuff that like 50 levels above them. Like, and then the game.
No, I understand. It just doesn't sound like their enemies were tiered correctly, or maybe they could have just upped health pools, or like. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to do it.
Yeah, I guess.
Right.
Which they also up the enemies.
There's ways to do it that wouldn't upset people as much.
Well, I think a lot of people just like to be upset about something because it started with, and I was even thinking about this today because I read through like all of the patch notes the other night. Like I read through the whole thing that you popped in. The Diablo
like 45
Discord.
minutes to read probably.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit. But I was thinking about it, and it was only like a week or two ago where you were reading things. It's like, oh, I'm level 100. I have nothing else to do in this game. Yeah. And then to even where like I think it was like someone in the development team was like, we'll take a break. And then it's like if you don't have anything to do, and already being a month in, obviously with Diablo you have a fucking hardcore, no pun intended.
There's a lot of people that know life.
Yeah. And if they're like, well, I have nothing to do, what do I do now? It's like, okay, well, let's change the game and make it work harder for it, so you're not breezing through. Well, why are you making things so much harder? It's like, well, what the fuck do you want?
Yeah. They're nerfing it for the people that no life it.
Yeah.
Right. So that if you are no lifing it, you have a lot more shit to do. And it's like, because like it basically just slows your progression, but it does it real fucking late in the game. Like, it's like, no, like you're probably not going to notice it until like you've played 90 hours probably. So like at that point, can you complain?
Yeah.
Like you're 90 hours in before you feel this. And guess what? Since we did it, if you want to play another 90, like you probably still won't be done.
Right. So it's kind of giving longevity to the game, but I think just in the way that it's being presented. Well, I don't even know if
is there that much content that you could put that many hours into this game.
So here's how they do it, right? So there's a lot of different content, but they have like the main one for the real end game for late is what they call nightmare dungeons, and you can craft these sigils, right? The sigils basically you consume them and it randomly turns one of your regular dungeons into a nightmare one. There's 100 tiers of those. The higher they get, the more like magic affixes and debuffs and shit like that you'll get as you're playing. So like some of the lower ones will be like, oh, every elite will be frozen type. So every time you get an elite pack, you're going to have to be dealing with frozen and cold damage, and you're going to have to just deal with that. And it's going to get old after a while, but it's going to be really difficult because frozen is tough, right?
Frozen sucks.
Yeah, or to be like poison pools or whatever, right? And where you're like, okay, well, I attack an enemy where it dies, it creates a poison pool. Well, now I got to relocate, right? And you're kind of keep forcing to relocate. It changes kind of the way you have to play the dungeon. So as you get higher, they start stacking those. So now you're dealing with frozen and poison. And you're like, well, fuck, if there's a poison pool that I'm trying to get out of and I get frozen in it, I'm fucking done.
Dead.
Right? So, like, that's how the game gets harder. They start stacking a whole bunch of different affixes and a little bit of mob density.
Okay.
But did they really need to make the town portal teleport? Like, they changed it from, like, 3 seconds to load up. Because, like, if you're, like, out
people
in the
were
open,
leaving while being attacked.
Oh,
that's why they did that. So
that makes sense, because I remember before it
Yeah.
would be is because pretty much like while you're out in the open, you can hit you can open a portal to take you back to town.
Yeah.
So like if you're way the fuck out fighting stuff, and it's like, all right, I need to go back. My inventory's full. I can just hit the town portal, and it takes me back. And that bar would only take like 3 seconds.
Yeah, they added like a second or a second and a half to it.
Like 2 of them. It went
Yeah.
it went from 3 to 5. But
Yeah.
like if you get hit while you're trying to leave, it
interrupts it.
It
Yeah.
interrupts it and nulls it. So
They made it longer because people were building up skills and just like being like, oh, immune skill. Let me just get out of this fucking elite fight because fuck that noise. And just like leaving mid battle without taking damage. And it was kind of cheesing.
I get that, because I used that a couple times. Like, I am getting fucked up. This was like lower level, and I'm just gonna try to push through this area, and it's like, I should not be here.
Yeah.
It takes like 3 hits to kill me. It was like, Chuck. It's like I gotta go. So I just like
Next one's death.
I dart up as fast as I can.
Yeah,
and
but you like kite them along the way, right? And you're
Yeah.
just you still have to build distance and try and not run into other shit, right? It's not just like, oh no, immunity bubble, I'm out.
Yeah. Especially when some of those are like 5 or 6 seconds. You're like, this is perfect.
Some of them are pretty long.
Yeah. I don't know. You kind of turned me, because at first when I was looking through, I'm like, wow, they're really messing some stuff up. But then it's like the more
I was crushing shit like late game that I was like I mean, it was still fun because I didn't hit the cap, but I could see how I could hit it very quickly without even getting max level. And I was like, oh, like that's not great.
I'm also not too mad because they didn't touch the rogue stuff too much. I'm like,
yeah.
Some of these actually seem like a little bit of an improvement, because certain skills, because you can like chain skills to act after another, or at least like with certain attributes, and certain things weren't hitting or activating when they should.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. There was one that just did completely no damage.
Yeah.
It was just like, no, if you use this skill after like gaining points using this skill, like if you gain like this much before you use it, instead of it being a bonus, it actually just does nothing. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that's an issue.
I don't understand how they miss things like this in play testing anymore.
Yeah,
like
seriously.
I mean, there's so much, but also they took years and years to develop this game.
Yeah, that's the other crazy part.
And you would think...
Well, I know, I'm just...
But
even,
yeah.
like, but every... Like, wouldn't you want to try... Even as, like, a creator, wouldn't you want to try out, like, the ability on, like, a random enemy?
Even without trying. Like, it tells me mostly that they're not using analytics properly.
Yeah.
And logging for their play testing, right? So, like, there's things you can do in software that, like, I do at work, right? Where we use analytics, where we track everything people do, like, that are in our programs, with their consent, obviously, right?
Mostly.
Like,
I'm kidding.
what windows you go to, like, if you, and, like, what window were you on previously? So where you were and where you're going, like, we track all of that, right? So that we can kind of put stuff together, common paths and themes and stuff. Mm-hmm. But we also collect, like, data for timing. And it's like, how do you... So, like, you can do things like, okay, let me track the damage output of this skill. And if you're like... And then you also track how many times was that skill used, right?
Yeah.
And then and then you track enemies, like, okay, how many enemies were damaged by that skill? And if you used a skill 5 times on single target enemies, but you only hit 4 things,
that shows you wait a minute.
Yeah.
These numbers don't add up.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of shit you can do in software like that I'm just surprised that companies don't use. And, like, you can automate all that shit. Like, it's wild to me that shit like that gets through.
Oh, probably. But then there's the other point where, how much is that really going to cost us to do the extra work to it?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
If you have the back-end infrastructure, adding that shit's almost nothing compared to actually implementing, like, the skill.
Like fucking Blizzard. Come on.
Yeah, like our company, it's like, hey, when you're implementing a new skill on a character, like, add the fucking logging in. Like, it's part of just adding the thing in. Like, it's just baked into the default shit you do.
Exactly. So that way we know it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is going on. That's an issue. Mm-hmm. Now we can correct it instead of it happening thousands of times over, and then, oh, oopsie, looks like we need to put out an update.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. They started a new season today, which is why they had a huge patch and stuff like that. So Diablo does seasons like a lot of other games, right? Okay. Like, you reset your character progression. They're doing the battle pass thing, all that shit. Their battle pass is completely cosmetic, though.
I feel like a lot of games are going that way.
It's just better.
Yeah,
it's better for everybody. Makes it more fair. So we'll see what the new season brings. I like how Diablo does seasons too. They always add like a new wrinkle. Like there's a whole set of like new skills.
New skills, new enemy
enemy
items.
types.
Yeah, exactly.
New end game content.
Yeah. I don't have to pay for the season, do I?
Nope, it's free.
Good.
Yeah, you only have to pay for the battle pass,
Oh.
which is completely voluntary and completely cosmetic. So like,
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. I think I got like the one next tier up because they're like, oh, you get a cool looking horse and something else. I'm like, all right, that sounds cool. And
you
then
might just get your first one for free.
Yeah, and then oh yeah, that's right. Because then there was like the ultimate package, which was like fucking $120.
Yeah,
and
that's
it
what
was
I
like,
got.
Then you get these skins and like extra points
emotes
or something. I don't know.
They
something
give
like
you currency for their in-game shop.
Well, while you guys have been playing Diablo,
What have you been playing?
I've so every once in a while I get that itch to play a certain type of game. That's RTS.
Oh yeah,
that. Okay, yeah.
So before the pandemic, maybe it was during the pandemic. It was right around the time when I got into
Anal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 1983.
I forget that other RTS I was playing.
Iron Harvest.
Iron Harvest, yes. So around the time I got into that, Clark also introduced me to a game called Stellaris, which they're still sending.
It's a huge game.
It's a very huge game.
Yeah.
And I've done a deep dive. So I played this years ago, and I set up sandbox kind of campaign, as big a possible galaxy you can make. Like, it's insane with like close to 20 AI opponents.
That's
all
cool.
different types. So there's some
Okay.
that start out at the same level as you.
Are there any orcs?
I mean, arguably, probably. like there's an insane amount of different species, not races. Species in this game.
Yeah.
It's wild because there's like bird people, there's like jellyfish people, there's koala
Birdman.
people. They're like, a lot of them are like, there's just a ton. There's some that I don't even own because they have a
DLC or whatever.
Yeah, DLC where like lithoids are like all robot races, and then you have like all deep sea races.
Species.
Yes, Jesus, I did it. And there's an insane amount. So I started this campaign like 3 years ago, and then put the game down. So I picked up that same campaign and picked it up midway
From where
through.
you left
I
off.
can't
Yeah.
do that.
Oh wow.
I kind of knew what I didn't like.
Maybe an RTS because you could just be like, pause. Where was I?
Yeah, yes. See, that's
Fair.
important in RTSs for me,
Yeah.
to have the pause. Iron Harvest did not have a pause, and it did not have a change in speed.
Oh, you just
That drives me nuts. Like,
That's annoying.
So the Iron Harvest, I love the theme of that game, though. It's like
very steampunk.
Steampunk World War II.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Essentially.
Yeah.
It's so cool. But I have to be able to change speed because I'm not great at. It becomes a lot of people argue like a clicks per minute kind of thing, and if you're not hitting a certain clicks per minute, you're going to lose, essentially.
Yeah.
So having the pause, I think, is essential, especially for if you're playing you're not playing human players.
You
Like,
always
yeah.
think about every decision you make from like 100 different angles, though, too.
yeah. Well, yeah, this is
kind
true.
of how you are.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
My boss said something to me along those lines. She's just like, she's like, you working in the mental health field, like, I know you don't have something wrong, but sometimes you act like you do have some kind of mental disorder.
I beg to differ with her. You definitely have a mental disorder. I mean, to be fair,
Because she saw me labeling all the computers today for like because we have subcommittees and the Zoom meetings and everything.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
people just like throw shit in a bag and all the cords, and I was organizing everything and labeling everything, and like I was like, we need to be more efficient about this whole thing. She's like, there's something wrong with you.
dude, everyone on this show is on the spectrum in some way or another.
But anyway, so Stellaris.
Penis.
So there's
that's
also
rats.
like there's AI opponents that start on the same level as you, just
Yeah.
exploring. Then there's some that are called Fallen Empires. that are like super powerful, but they're not expanding anymore. They're just like they've fallen off of their
empire.
Yeah. And then there's some that are awoken, which were really powerful, and now they want to get really power. So I don't know. There's different, like, you'll run into these
Aren't those
different.
the same two factions that they call them in Destiny?
Are they
the Fallen?
I don't know. I did not play a lot of. I didn't play.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, so you know what? That group, they're pretty woke.
So it's a shame because I was looking at the Steam store at like all the different DLC, and it's an insane amount.
Yeah.
And it was all discounted. I didn't know the Steam summer sale was.
Yeah.
So
no.
I kind of missed out on that. So I'm gonna have to look into that when I get. They do it every season, right?
Yeah.
And I think every time they launch a new DLC, they'll go on sale. Anyway, I do want to get some DLC for this game to really expand it because they said the base game is actually pretty boring until you start getting like the crazy stuff where you can build Dyson spheres around different suns and. Like the DLC is at a shit ton. But then I was doing a deep dive, listening to a lot of podcasts analyzing this game and like Let's Plays and stuff like that.
Game reviews.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they were saying so there's a company called 4X that launched this game, and I'm starting to hear a lot of bad things about 4X.
That's because they're really fat.
Apparently, they're notorious for releasing in what people arguably say unfinished games, and they launch it all in DLC packages.
Welcome to 2023.
And they do it through a ton of DLC
The
packages.
Sims model.
Kinda, yes. Yes.
Joe's like, if I have to buy another fucking Sims DLC.
Oh, buy.
You know what? That's fair.
It's literally a one-click. They just had a DLC drop yesterday. It's literally a one-click update. Like, I have like a thing that's just like, you click update. It's just like fucking.
Is this for your wife?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is she a big Sims player?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's her jam.
Does she have like a whole neighborhood together?
Every neighborhood.
What?
Every neighborhood.
She has every neighborhood.
So she has like a city of Sims?
So like Sims.
Sim City?
The Sims has like. They have neighborhoods that you can play in. So it's not just like.
I haven't played since like.
Okay, so you can play
The
your.
Sims?
You have your family, right?
Yeah.
But when you're in like the creative mode where you're like building and stuff, you can build any house that your sim is living in, as well as any community building, like restaurants, fire departments.
Huh. Oh wow. Okay.
Office buildings, like anywhere your sim works, like, and you can build those buildings too.
No wonder she fucking loves that game then.
And she designs and customizes every building in every neighborhood.
Wow.
I'm telling you, we can all just quit our jobs and start doing a home renovation company.
Can I come over and just see that one of these? I'm like,
Curious?
yeah, I kind of just want to see it. Like,
It's wild.
If she's sunk years into building and
thousands of hours.
Jesus,
Yeah.
this town has to be polished.
It's ridiculous. There's probably like 30 or 40 buildings in each neighborhood, and I think she has like 10 neighborhoods, something like that. She was really excited because the DLC then not every DLC has neighborhoods.
Okay.
The one that dropped yesterday has a new neighborhood. So she's like, this is like hundreds of hours of gameplay for me.
Yeah. Oh, so each DLC is like separate. They're not like a combined thing.
No.
Okay.
It's
I thought
literally
they
like,
just build on
they're
the
like,
world
oh,
that
do you
you're
want
already...
pets? That's $10. Oh,
But-
horses are not pets. That's $10. Oh, do you
But
want
like there's a horse world and like a pet world. Like they can't
well, that's
intermix.
what I mean. Like they don't. Like they're not all neighborhoods. So like if you have a farm or like a ranch house, right, where you wanted
See, now I'm irritated at this business model.
like you could have like cats and dogs and run around and like you could build your barn, but you got no animals to put in it until you buy the fucking horse DLC or whatever.
No, I don't know. How I imagine Sims should be is you have your base game.
Yeah.
Now we're going to introduce your pets.
Yeah.
For example, doesn't change anything except now that you can have pets in your world.
Yeah, $10.
Yeah.
And
You don't get weather without a DLC.
I know,
What?
but
Yeah.
it the way you're pitching it. Maybe I'm hearing you wrong. It sounds like your different neighborhoods each have their own DLCs attached to that, and
No,
certain things
the DLC
don't.
can be used in any neighborhood,
Okay.
but some DLCs also come with a neighborhood.
Okay. So she's only going forward. She can't really.
She can go back too. She can be like if there's like 6 neighborhoods out, right, and then pets comes out, You can use the pets in any of those 6 neighborhoods.
So, is there a theme to each neighborhood?
Yeah. Not really.
Okay.
Geographically.
Okay.
Like, they'll be like, it's like an ocean coast theme, or like this is like a prairie area where it's like smooth hills.
So that's
like,
what they mean by like the neighborhood
It's a
release
neighborhood.
is okay.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
So
it's like
a new
this is
environment.
Collegeville. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
or like this is Skip Back's probably more appropriate. Something like that, right? Where it's like you have like your small main road through town with like a couple of things.
Okay. Did she make all of us in her Sims? Do we all have houses?
No, I don't think so.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I gave
don't
him
matter.
the sim that I named Harry a neurotic trait, and it just seems spot on.
Again.
Circling back to the previous
Yeah,
conversation.
Yeah. I think your boss is like right on where it's like you are
There's something going on there, bud.
you're TikToked in your brain.
Yes.
Fucking comedy is great.
Comedy is great. I need to go to another comedy show soon.
Yeah.
See who's coming around.
I need to cool down. I got so burnt out after going to all those shows. Not from comedy, but just in general.
I haven't been to a show in a fucking hot minute. Need
Yeah.
to go again. I think the last one was like Flogging Molly, and then before that was Bert Kreischer when I got COVID from that guy coughing on me like the entire fucking show.
Oh, like a year.
Did
and
you
a half
get
ago.
COVID?
Oh yeah.
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 And this guy just coughing on people.
Yeah, remember
Well-
we went to see Bert, and then 2 days later you had your New Year's Eve party, and then a bunch of people had COVID after that. Steve's pretty sure because there was one dude at that thing that was literally sitting behind us, just like tacking up along.
Not behind us. He was sitting next to me.
That's right. Because I don't think we were in the same row. Right?
No,
we were kind
no.
of like 2 and 2.
Yeah, and then he was sitting next to me, and he would like cough, and then every once in a while he would like turn his head as you like normally would, but they turn his head, pull his fucking mask
You gotta
down.
pick somebody next to you.
Yeah,
You're
and
never
then
gonna win that scenario.
no, and then he was basically just like coughing my direction the entire
With
night.
his mask off. What an asshole.
Yeah, he was just an old fucking asshole. And then it's at a comedy show, and it's fucking Bert, so I'm laughing my ass off the entire time.
Yeah,
So
just you're
I'm
sucking in more oxygen.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Just bringing in
Nice.
the COVID. This is great.
Thank God COVID doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, right.
I'm so over that.
I don't think it ever existed in the first place.
Yeah, it's true.
Not after I took all my ivermectin. I'm good to go.
Ivermectin, more like Uvermectin.
Oh, you got him. You got him.
So you're playing a lot of Stellaris. You playing anything else?
No, I'm going to wrap up this campaign. I'm about to wipe all these species right out of my galaxy.
You're like, I'm gonna wipe them out. Then I'm gonna buy
I honestly, I got very nervous though. Like I got into a war that I wasn't ready for, and it was like half the galaxy, and like that we were just battling, and I couldn't make ships fast enough, and like
got dicey.
Yeah, it got to a point where I took out a couple of his like unique fleets. I had to like. It was like 3 of my fleets to take down one of his, kind of thing. But he wasn't making new ones. It was like I think he was just sitting on whatever he had. So once I took out some of these,
More of attrition.
yeah.
And that's versus AI, or can you actually? Can this be like PvP?
It could. I would love to play PvP, but I'm not playing with online people. It would just be like if you guys
pause.
No, that's.
I know, but like I feel like the online communities for RTS games are min-max. Like they know exactly what to do.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I'd have any fun.
Most competitive games.
Yeah.
I would love to play this with like one of you guys though. It would be a blast. I always wanted to play an RTS, just like with friends. I've never played actually PvP. It's always been.
Well, unless we play Warhammer or something.
That's
in a way, but then no, I got you.
I
I got
meant
what
like a
you're saying.
computer
Yeah.
or RTS.
Yeah. They're tough though, because I feel like I mean, what's the average game length though?
Well,
Like,
I made the largest galaxy possible. I think if I
the
went,
smallest one like under 2 hours.
probably not.
Right.
It's probably like 6 hours.
So it's like definitely multiple sittings, and you got to like do multiple sittings, hope that it saves properly.
It
for
probably
multiple-
like if you're playing a PvP, just you two, and if you play aggressively, you could probably be done pretty quick. It's like whoever fucks up really hard first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you both play like you do with PvE, where you just like
Just build
I'm
and
gonna
build and build
forever.
Yeah. I will say, so like really trying to pitch the game here a little bit. it is like I only have the base game currently, and it's insanely detailed. There's political systems where you can all join a federation and you vote on things each month. Yeah, you can choose. So there are. It has a lot of like ethics and political factions and stuff built in.
I don't like
You
that.
can design how you want your government to be. Do you want to be
dictatorship?
A dictatorship, yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a democracy? And some of the different species don't have to worry about like a happiness factor. They just produce things, and that's their thing. Or some don't work well with other species. Like there's a lot of like crazy stuff that affects how your gameplay is.
That's pretty cool. That it's that fucking detailed.
Yeah, it's learning curve.
Yeah,
I want to pitch that out right away. Learning curve.
This sounds like, I'm 30 hours in. I think I get the hang of this game.
Yeah, and your biggest
maybe
like how all RTS games have a currency. Like you have your energy and all that jazz. The biggest currency is your population.
Okay.
You get more influence over the galaxy the higher your population. And you have to colonize planets. You can terraform planets.
That's neat.
You can build mega structures in space. There's black holes. Oh, and when you play a campaign, there's an end game crisis. It's randomized.
Okay.
The one I got hit with is a faction from outside of your galaxy comes in and just wants to wipe everybody out.
Oh shit!
So
just like
a
annihilate
scenario where you're like, hey, no, this is the timer.
Yeah, and honestly, what really was really cool about like this whole campaign is everybody was like, hey, we're gonna put all our differences aside. We need to take down this force. And it was just everybody sending their fleets at this outside invader, and this invader took over like a third of our entire galaxy. And we were playing like 350 star systems in this galaxy, so when you zoom out, it's fucking huge. But it was just really, it felt thematic.
Yeah.
Just this outside invader coming in. And like, I hated this one empire. And he was like, dude, we just gotta like go.
Yeah. You're like,
so it was kind of cool.
Damn you, Julius Caesar.
But there's other ones too. There's different factions that come in and invade. There's like storms that come in, like space storms, whatever the fuck that means. Just like an electric field and shit.
Space
okay, that makes sense.
Pew, 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 pew.
So I don't know. There's a different crisis of like there's 15 different end of game crisis that can happen.
Okay,
and you don't know what it is until it hits.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It's a pretty cool game. So I don't know if I sold anybody on it, but
is it something where you could sit down for like a half hour, 45 minutes, and feel like you got something out of the play, or do you have to commit?
You
to
could.
a single sitting?
Like because I have it on pause right now, and like if I only have like 15, 20 minutes before bed or something like that.
Don't get used to that. You're already used to that.
Sometimes. So it takes a while to boot up the game.
Well,
it's like a 15-minute boot up when you first start it.
Jesus,
that's because his computer's.
That's fair. Yeah, it's Harry's computer is like 15-minute boot up.
Yeah.
Maybe like 3.
Harry doesn't have a solid state hard drive, guys.
I don't even know what. I don't know what that means.
Exactly.
You remember how much faster your PS5 is than your PS4?
Yes.
PS4 was not a solid state. PS5 is.
Okay.
Things go a lot.
You don't have to wait for a disk to spin and get to the data that you need.
Sorry, I tried playing Powerball so I can get you a new computer, but it didn't work.
It didn't work out.
No.
You guys would have.
Well, Joe just said he could do some upgrades, like not super expensive,
but yeah.
Say we get a couple of the sticks.
Don't get too technical, Harry. Easy. You need to dumb it down for people who are not computer literate.
He gave me a list of some shit like it wouldn't cost more than a couple $100 or something.
RAM in a hard drive.
Yes, goes along. RAM sticks, right?
Yeah, that's what I call my penis. Plural, because
it's funny how the car company is a Dodge, though. Dodge Ram.
Wasn't that like part of it?
Usually, you try to dodge the Ram.
Nice.
I don't know. Didn't work out though. I guess.
I don't know. That was like the Dane Cook bit where he's like, I saw a man get hit by a car. The car was a Dodge, ironically, and his shoes came off. Whatever reason, like the past like 2 weeks, have just been referencing Dane Cook. It's my supervisor is also. It's like, oh, you mean the CT 2000? Yeah.
Yo, speaking of somebody getting hit by a car.
I love that intro.
So,
Go for it. Yeah.
Welcome to MUBRS, everybody.
Again, I'm not dropping names, but this is somewhat related to work. We have a guy who he does something to get somebody to call 911 every day. Paramedics fucking hate this guy.
Nice.
The one female paramedic was like throwing him on the stretcher the other day.
Okay.
It's intense.
As a former EMT, I get that.
So, they do. He commits to something where for a while it was, I have a heart attack. Now, his latest is
Flavor of the month.
Yeah, he does a different thing to get the ambulance. The newest one the other day, he was laying in the road and said somebody hit him with a car.
Oh, he's
Nice.
he's pulling the old Chinese insurance scam.
Yeah, right? He could just say he's protesting.
Yeah, it just glue your hand to the pavement. You're good.
So, I don't know. Wild. Because the paramedic, like the police officer, I guess, didn't know the guy and was like trying to do a report. And the paramedic said, stop doing it. He's fucking faking it.
Somebody's going to shoot this guy. And they're going to be like, that's ketchup.
Yeah, he's crying wolf way too much. And then at some point, something's going to happen. Then it's just going to be like, no, I'm dying. They're like, all right, Randy.
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell the audience, but like you guys know where I work. Like, there's a reason for it. But
yeah, that's like side stories on the last podcast on the left that just came out. They're just talking about a guy who would call up like either podiatrists or people who work with like prosthetics and whatnot, and he was just like verbally harassing this female employee, just talking about like, would you rub my stump? Can I suck on your toes? And it ended up being from like an entire another state over that he just found this. So they the doctor's office, who got recordings and everything, was able to get like to the area of like, all right, the number is coming from here, and call like the sheriff's department,
have it investigated or whatever.
And they're like, oh, we're being harassed by someone, and they're like, oh, okay, the sheriff is just kind of brushing it off, and he's like, yeah, he's talking about like wanting to suck on my toes and like cut off my foot and go with that. It's like, oh, that's Reggie. Where you just know it's like, I know that guy. I know that guy. That guy.
Reggie sounds like the name of somebody who would be into the foot stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? If you like sucking on a toe, that's fine. You do your thing, but you don't harass people over it. It's consensual toe play.
You know what?
Fine.
Foot fetishes freak me out a bit.
Yeah?
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. I sucked on a toe or two in my day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the inside of a shoe is not clean.
Oh, it's
No.
swampy.
This was like,
what I mean.
freshly showered foot. I have standards, okay?
Huh.
So games.
This took a turn. Welcome to MUBRS.
Yeah, welcome to a peep in our lives.
Yeah.
What has happened?
I'm just getting old. Shit changes after a little bit.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's like listening to one podcaster, like if you could just like take a pill and stop aging like at an age, like what was like your best year, and not like career wise, because it's been a fucking struggle for a lot of us getting there, but it's like, what's that good age? I don't know, is it like somewhere in the 20s?
I don't know. I feel like literally every year has been better than the last.
Yeah, it's kind of getting there. I mean, other than my tits, but that'll happen. I could fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every year has its highlights.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not actually asking you to pick a year. I don't give a shit. But it's like, it's
something to think about.
Yeah. Dream on, you crazy dreamers.
Crazy dreamers. You guys got any other games coming out that you guys are looking forward to, waiting on?
No,
I know like sometimes we tend to kind of bop around between games. Like we'll get sucked into a game for a little while and we'll be playing the podcast game, and then we'll kind of like get stale and kind of like, I know I tend to like, when that happens to me, I'm like, okay, and I bounce between like 10 different games until I find the one that I get stuck in, and then rinse and repeat. You guys doing any bopping around, or you, like right now, or are you looking forward to anything coming up?
Sorry, I wanted to mention this. You might be interested in this, Joe. I got all the DLC for Back 4 Blood, and I've been playing the...
you picked it up again?
Yeah, I got back into that. So I started all the way back from the beginning, Act 1, so I can get another outfit for the Zwat outfit.
Yeah.
And then I continued into Act 5, and then I had just started Act 6.
How was it?
It's not bad. It's interesting.
I played Act 5. I didn't play Act 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I only just started Act 6, and I got fucked up the first round because, I can't throw gold away.
Yeah.
Like, I have to hoard it all, and I got the
the one where it makes it heavier and
yeah,
you walk slower?
Yeah. And then an ogre came out mid-level and just fucking trashed me.
And you couldn't move?
Well, I threw it all down, but every time you pick it up, you get plus 5% damage on you. So as soon as you get hit, like, once,
Yeah,
done.
you're
done.
Fucked. And I'm playing on...
Nightmare or whatever?
not the second to highest. Like
Veteran?
No, then maybe it is Nightmare. Because they even added a difficulty past Nightmare.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
I wouldn't mind getting back into that. That is a fun game.
Yeah, I think the community died for it, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, everything that's out for it is out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame. They were like, this is going to be a
I'm
game
telling
as a
you,
service thing.
they needed to add the verses.
Yeah.
Like classic Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
I don't know why they couldn't do it.
The versus they had in there was just not good.
No, it wasn't.
Arena battles? Like, it just
Nobody
didn't-
asked for that.
It didn't make sense.
That's what they had in there? 'Cause
Basically, yeah.
I popped in, like, here and there, like, afterwards. I know we had, like, our first boom.
Yeah.
And then we just had, like, some crazy long podcast shit coming along. So it's
Yeah.
like, in the actual time that I had, I'm like, all right, well, I need to play this game for,
Yeah, the
us
show.
to be able to
Yeah.
do this.
Left 4 Dead was big because of the verses.
That was,
Yeah.
like,
Nobody
the
played
thing.
it for the campaign, really. Like,
Yeah.
people did, but like...
We played
To
through
practice.
Yeah.
played through the campaign together just to get the campaign complete.
Yeah.
And then once that was done, if we could get like 4 of us together, it was versus all the time.
Yeah, 'cause versus was the tits.
It
Yeah.
was awesome.
I don't know why they couldn't have done that. Like, even if they... Like, it was right there. It was fucking right there.
Yeah.
Especially, they made this arena mode where you play
both sides.
both sides.
Oh, well then what the fuck?
Yeah. It's just like,
I think that people were thinking, the campaign is too long. So...
cut it up. Like,
Yeah,
Or
make a
or
section.
just add respawn timers a little higher, so
Yeah.
it's not
Something.
like constantly. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it could have been. It was fucking right there,
Yeah.
right there.
yeah, they could have had different checkpoints or something. Or
Yeah,
like,
and that game would have
whatever.
been 100 times bigger than it
Yeah.
it currently got to.
But yet here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still like the game though.
It's definitely fun to play.
I'll still get. It's more fun playing with you guys. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
really,
Playing
that
solo sucks.
That comes down to
It
like
was just-
a lot of the multiplayers. Like there's some games like Modern Warfare 2. I'll just hop in matches and just play with randos
play or whatever.
Yeah, I don't really care because I don't really do too much of like the DMZ shit anymore.
Yeah.
But I'll still hop on and just play through like some of like the game modes, whether it be team deathmatch, the free for all, or like the gun games because
Yep.
I always like something added.
Yep.
But something like, Back for Blood, where it's like, oh, you actually have to be, or not have to be, but it's a lot better if you're a cohesive team
Yeah.
and can work together.
Nightmare, I think the challenge was too high.
yeah.
Like
It was
they
too
upped
tough.
it a little too much.
And the AI was just so good because I could breeze. Well, not
was- yeah,
breeze
it was
through
easier
it, but
to get
like
through with AI than
it
it
is
was with players.
much easier to get through with AI.
Okay,
that's how
yeah.
I beat the whole game on Nightmare several times over.
was just you and AI.
Me and AI.
It was way easier.
But when we were doing it, like as 4 of us, like we were all really good at the game at the time.
Yeah.
we'd get maybe 2 rounds in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And
then
scaling
call it a
of
wash
the
of
enemy
the night.
didn't play right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just too hard.
Yeah. It was the basically 360 no scoping of the fucking bots. Because bots could see like 360 degrees and they would just whip around
Oh, fuck you.
and like shoot
yeah,
shit
but-
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, they're not actually looking at stuff and they're just like
It's
seeing
still
it.
a
yeah.
challenge, though.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
say
Yeah,
with
yeah.
AI, because
You have to be
they'll get
tactical about
fucked.
it.
Yeah, you do. You have to
Yeah.
be tactical. But it's just it's actually doable with AI. Where I don't think it's
Yeah.
even really possible unless you're top tier.
There's other stuff that you can do with the AI that you can't do with players either. Like I think like there's one thing where like bots don't consume certain items and stuff like that too. Like bots have infinite ammo.
Gotcha. So it's like maybe like more supplies.
Oh yeah,
for
yeah.
you
They
going
like
through.
Like
they
if
have
you're
a med-
hurt, they'll like heal you, right? And then it's like, well, they'll just get another bandage in like 60 seconds. They don't have to find
they're,
it.
they're on cooldown.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, which sucks too because they all have starting equipment, right?
Yeah.
And it sucks.
But some of them have better starting equipment than others.
Yeah.
Like some come with a med kit, and I play with like the perks that med kits also heal trauma damage. Some of them start with like a pill.
Yeah.
So they're only ever giving you temporary health, and they're never actually healing you.
Yeah.
But regardless, you're getting infinite ammo. Whenever you start getting low on ammo, they drop it for you. So there's that. But I will say the AI very prone to jumping off of cliffs for instant deaths all the time. Like if I'm losing a match, it's because of that.
You do babysit a little bit.
Yeah.
Guys, over here, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody, we don't want any missing Marvins or walk away Wendy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're really good at that.
They're like, oh no, there's a boomer coming. Let me go stand on this edge of this fucking building.
I'm a boomer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a good game, but just missed potential there.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking. Somebody made I don't know, really poor decision.
I hope it was a legal issue.
Because I want that company to succeed too. They have great ideas.
Yeah.
Like adding the card system to a shooter, I thought was awesome.
Yeah. I loved that system.
That was a neat addition.
Yeah. I was like, oh,
something different.
Deck building in an FPS. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Let's check it out. And it worked great.
It did.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much does it.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was an interesting MUBRS.
Yeah. Kind of all over the place. You know what? It took me back a little bit.
Yeah. Kind of missed it a little bit. We haven't talked games in just games in a while.
No, well, I mean, we had the retrospective series, and then it was like one or two like in between, and then we had the long run of the loser, and it was nice to get back for a little bit. It's just kind of random bullshit. Just talk about whatever the fuck.
Oh, speaking of loser, by the way, I haven't had a lot of feedback from the audience, both good or bad. It would just be helpful. Just to give us a gauge.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit us up in the Discord or Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, we know at least one or two that kind of came through was just that they were shorter episodes, but that was also, there's a lot of work. Harry put a shit ton.
Yeah, each episode was like 6 to 8 hours of editing.
Yeah. A lot.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. That's literally a full day's shift of just editing, and that is fucking draining. But again, thank you for spearheading that editing there, Harry. Appreciate that.
Yep.
But yeah, if you guys can let us know, then let us know. Or for any suggestions for if you have something you would like to bring up as a topic or something else for future MUBRS, as some of these like old school feel ones will be...
They're probably going to be sprinkled in here and there.
Yeah.
Top of the other stuff.
Let us know. I think it's been a while since we did probably been almost about a year since we did a Q&A. Maybe a little less than that. But, maybe you might pull one of those out
there's
again.
a channel in Discord. Just feel free to drop it in there. Like I said, Facebook or whatever.
Come check out our Discord. Be part of it and, let us know. But as always, hey, we appreciate every single one of you for, tuning in and listening every 2 weeks or whenever you get the chance, and sharing some kind words and sharing this with your friends. And yeah, man, awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Man, you are freaking out. Man. One more person says shenanigans, I'm gonna pistol whip them. Hey, Farva, what's that place that you like that has all the shit all over the walls?
Goofy shit on the walls.
All the goofy shit on the walls? You mean shenanigans?
Oh.
Need to watch that movie again.
It's a goodie.
Yeah. So join us in 2 weeks for State of Decay 2?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. Until then, love you guys.
Stay sexy.
Stay safe.
Yogurt.
Right meow.